Right, okay. What did I even say here, David?
Whatever, mate. The fucking Scott Bain shite. Who else is shite?
Everybody's
She
shit.
played tonight. Edward was alright. Still just Neil Lennon's shite. Peter Lawl's fucking clueless. Good with finances, but...
Right, okay. If that's no the final nail in the coffin, I have no idea what it's going to take. I'm not going to say much, because you know what the script is at this point. Clips on Twitter, next thing you know...
Don't mention Hitler in
next thing you know, you're the next viral sensation, but I mean, that is just beyond humiliating. The old pals act's got to be up now. You know, you see something tweeting there, utterly embarrassing, innit? Well, what's it been for the last few months? Apparently he's a good Celtic man and everything's alright. That is shambolic, and I don't even know how to react to this point. You know what my thoughts are on Lennon and the situation. Things have got to change. Will they change? Don't think so. There's not much I can say that isn't just a repeat of the last 3 months. You know, we feel like we just sit down here and we say the same thing over and over and over again. It's just borderline embarrassing. It's hard to come on here and try and justify much to the camera when you know everything that you say is just going to be laughable. Because at this point, that's just what it feels like for myself. Because there is no change. There's no change from the top to the bottom, on and off the park. So nothing's going to change with me sitting in front of a camera either. Look, the same clueless things are happening. You know, tonight, we usually sit down and do 3 things we learned, and the recurring story is there's nothing we've learned. It's just the same stuff. So, but tonight, Neil Lennon starting a Julienne who hasn't played in 12 games. So this is the point that baffled me, actually. I just want to touch on this. So after we got beat 4-1 at Celtic Park, which was bad enough, Lennon came out after the game and said, that's Europe done, we've chucked it. Yeah, he goes out tonight and fields what looks to be a full strength team, and then before the game says, if we've got any chance, we must win tonight. Well, wasn't that 3 weeks ago when you'd chucked it? So why now have you got this faith that if we win tonight we can go through? But then he goes and plays Julian, who hasn't played in 12 games, clearly doesn't look anywhere near match sharp. He was abysmal tonight, and I feel bad for him because he's going to get a bad rap from it, and rightly so. It was poor, but he's going to get a bad rap from it. But that's down to Lennon deciding to start him tonight when he shouldn't be. You've got a perfect opportunity to start him in a cup game in the weekend, which on paper is a game we should be winning at Celtic Park. Start him then when there's much less at risk. Tonight it was an utter embarrassment at the back. Once again, all the problems just been highlighted to a major extent. Set piece defending is a joke. It's humiliating. I'm looking at Ali McCoy's to tell her now, he's got a massive smile on his face, no wonder. But set piece defending's a joke, just normal defence a joke. That 4th goal, look, if Scott Bain, if Barkas was the one in goals tonight, making those mistakes, you know, we wouldn't want to see him in a Celtic shirt ever again. But all of a sudden, because it's Scott Bain that's been playing, he's been getting a good rap, and it's nonsense. He's not good enough, nowhere near good enough to be Celtic's starting keeper. And whether or not Barkas is or not, shouldn't have any sort of, I think, relevance to whether or not Barkas is the one, because Bain's not good enough. So if Barkas has been deemed not good enough, then clearly the first target in the January transfer window should be a goalkeeper. After spending £6 million, I think that's utterly barmy. I think that's just a complete... It just kind of sums up everything from this season, but Bain's not good enough. And that's evident, and tonight once again proved that. Plenty of people yesterday going after nuts about the banner down at Celtic Park, saying it's shocking, we should be backing the guy and we should be keeping all the faith in him, all the rest of it, all those same comments that I've come used to seeing. If you're backing the manager after tonight and after that performance, then you're off your head. That's all I can simply say, because there is nothing in that team that shows to me there's any glimpse of promise. Right now, we're looking at a situation where if Neil Lennon does continue as Celtic manager, I see a Scotland 10-0. I don't see it coming home. And that's what the expectation level is for me now. I went into this game with no hope whatsoever, so why would I go into the rest of the season with hope? Because we're just progressively getting worse. We're now waiting on Neil Lennon's post-match interview, see what he says. I can imagine it's going to be once again the same old story. But look, there's no way you can convince me the board are sitting watching that game tonight with any sort of promise in their head or any sort of ambition that this club is going to turn this around at the moment. People are backing Lennon right now. The people who are backing Lennon and think he can turn this around are doing it out of a sentimental value, which is not going to get us anywhere this season. That's pretty evident. They're not thinking about the club. That is my opinion, and I know a lot of people are. I've said many times, I respect everyone's opinion. If you want Neil Lennon to continue, fair enough, that's your opinion, and I respect that. But it's just utterly bizarre how you can think that at the moment, because these are telltale signs week in, week out, that we're going to progressively. Sorry, not even progressively. That's not even the right word to use here. We're just going to constantly, constantly move backwards with him in charge. We need change. We need an overhaul. A guy like Eddie Howe, if he was the man, just the first name that comes to your head, if he was the man to come in, the resume changes, everything changes, the mentality, the day-to-day work of the boys will change. I think your confidence will change massively. That's not going to shift anytime soon, especially with results like this constantly. That is twice now. That's an 8-2 aggregate to Sparta Prague, the easiest team in the group. I don't even want to think about what's going to happen at the San Siro next week. And right now I don't feel confident we can actually win the game at the weekend in the Cup against Ross County. There's nothing that points towards that. We've got a really good run of games coming up now in the league, and arguably it should be games we're taking 15 points from. 5 games on the bounce now, which Celtic should be winning. Do I feel confident we're going to win those games? No, I don't at all. So it's just, it's a complete, it's mush in the head, that's what it feels like. Absolute mush in the head. I don't know how much longer that we can expect to put up with us. And if people's heads aren't turning after tonight towards the issue of Neil Lennon being manager, what is it going to take? What will actually change your mind on it? Because it's all well and good saying come the end of the season you'll eat your words and you'll be saying God bless Neil Lennon then, but it's not going to happen. So what are we waiting on? What is going to force that change? Feels like it's going to take more than a banner at this point for something to happen. As I'm saying, what will it take? If we don't wake up tomorrow with some form of news that there is a development going on, then I'm giving up hope at this point. There's no point even. I don't even think there's a point me speaking on it in the channel. What is the point in me coming out every week and saying we've got to make change when there is nothing to suggest it's going to happen? Nothing. Look, tonight on the park, I guess the whole point of this is maybe a match review, and we've not even reviewed the match. I've spoken about one player individually, and that was Christopher Julie. And tonight, every player was rotten, apart from maybe Edouard, who, when we went up 1-0, you're thinking, oh, he looks back to his best. What a fantastic finish. The way he takes the ball, everything, it's the Edouard of old. It's what we've been waiting on all season. He just looked really, really good. But as the game goes on, players look clueless, players look worried. And these teams are finding it far too easy to rough us up and take the game to us. You know, they're getting in behind far too easily. We've already spoke about the defensive issues that are just mind-boggling at this stage. But Edouard tonight was the only player who, to a stretch, can get any form of pass mark. But even at that, he missed a sitter in the second half, which you have to convert. The goal scorer that he is, the player that we know he can be, he needs to put that in the back of the net. And Chan works really hard to get the ball off to him, and then he misses it from point blank range. So it's situations like that once again sum up the season. What do we do from here? What is the direction we now go in? Because it's beyond a joke. Beyond a joke. I said on Twitter, 20 club and a bottle of vodka seems like the only way forward for me now. That's twice now we've been getting showed up for Norris for Corey, which is great. But, you know what? We move on.
Get your own fucking part. That's my part, you thieving bastard.
Big question coming out now is obviously, will Neil Lennon just resign after that? He looked depleted enough as it was in his pre-match press conference. He looked horrendous. His face was tripping him. He was speaking very depressingly, you could say. It just did not look great. Will he resign after tonight and realise that he needs to go? I don't think he will. I don't see why he would walk away from the job if he still feels confident he can turn it around, but he should know as well as others that he can't turn it around at this point, because they're not playing for him. He looks lost in it. I don't see what the faith kind of comes for. So if it does it, 4-1, Prague absolutely embarrass us again, and we move on from there. Rangers will probably go and win the night, have a good result. Fair enough to them, but what else can you do at this point in terms of Celtic? There's only so much I can say. I just feel like I'm rehashing the same old content. So if you have enjoyed, try and like and subscribe. I understand it's a very tough time for all Celtic fans. It's just a joke, beyond a joke. What else can I say? Embarrassing. Anyway, see you all next time.